Okay, with filmmaker Aaron Penney, The Transition Room is the short film played at the WILDsound Festival. It's 13 minutes long. It's got a lot of genres in it. I would call it like a fantasy sci-fi, but there's romance, it's funny, it's a comedy, it's dramatic, there's afterlives in it. Like you just kind of like threw a lot of things at it and you succeeded. That's my first impression of it.
Thank you. That means a lot. Yeah, it's genre bending I find really fun when I guess the story serves it. And this was a really fun experiment to play around with. It stemmed from the idea of, is there even a world anymore where you can make a film that stems around something as dark as suicide, but have it a touching story that people could laugh at. And that's what I sought out to do here.
So yeah, you said that in your director statement. It's a comedic story with suicide and loss as the beating heart. That's sort of like in many ways a contradiction, but of emotions, but it works, right? I think that's what you're playing with.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
where did you get this idea for this film?
In a conversation about exactly that. Like we talked about things that didn't feel comfortable to do anymore, and amongst my production team in Atlanta, and that came up. Like, you can't make a funny story about suicide was a comment that was made, and it got my wheels turning. And I thought, I think you can, but like I think it was important to discuss. Like, you have to, I guess, pay respect to what that is as a sensitive material. And if you can do that and create purpose to that being the driving force of the story, I think people can connect with it and see past the rigidity that comes with that word, and look at it as a story that you care about. Yeah.
So there's like some people, like comedians especially, said there's always something you always can laugh at something. It's just that sometimes it takes a little bit more time and distance, and then there's the lens. You got to change the lens, of course. But would you
Yeah.
agree with that?
Yeah, I think comedians are a really great example of that. I think oftentimes I run into comedians who are not the happiest people in the world, but they are succeeding because I think there has to be a little bit of drama and truth into the funny jokes you're making, right?
Especially in
Yeah,
today's world, right? We're an overly sensitive world right now, right?
yeah,
So
exactly.
so tell me, okay, so this film's doing well. Like I could see it's won a bunch of awards. Are you surprised by the success on the festival circuit of the film?
I guess surprised, yeah, only because it's my first like true festival run internationally, and so it for me it was I didn't know what to expect necessarily, but I hope to maybe be selected a few times at the worst case scenario. I thought it had enough meat on the bones between what we put together as a team,
Mhm.
and then picking up an award after another here for this project so far. I think now totaling 21, 22 of them. It's been really cool to see. I think it's inspired us to do, I guess, some of the upcoming projects that we have, and try to see if we can take this up a notch. And I think we have one in the chamber here that is going to be something that might succeed the transition room in a lot of ways. And as far as my work and my experience go, I'm really excited for it, but I am really honored for some of the awards I've received so far, including one from you guys. It's been really, really cool.
I'm sure you've been asked this before at other festivals, but is there like a sequel, like sorry, a feature film like version of this film?
Yeah, I can tell you for since I made it, no. But it very simply, I thought this was a story that lives and breathes on its own, and it wasn't until a conversation that I had with my partner, I want to say literally 2 weeks ago, that we are now really talking about making this into a feature that I didn't initially intend this to be.
So
Yeah, so we're excited for that.
your partner's Toya, is that your partner?
She was one of my producing partners. Yeah.
Okay,
So Toya and Tiffany helped me put this together, and
okay.
it went really well. My partner, my significant other
Oh,
partner.
gotcha. Sorry, I didn't. I thought you meant your creative partner. Go ahead.
No, no, yeah. She's someone who does a lot of the as of recent history, the director of photography work for the projects we put together. She edited the transition room actually, and so high praise to her for anyone that likes that film. But yeah, it was a conversation with her where we really sat down and thought, if we are to do this, it'd be a different direction where it's not I think Robert still being a part of it, but it not focusing around Robert, but focusing around one of the attendants, the newer one. And I think we have a really cool concept on how we want to deliver that.
Okay, and you're based in Las Vegas, correct?
Yes.
So how is the obviously Las Vegas is known for a lot of things. How is the independent film scene? Is there one?
Yeah. Oh man. So if I have a platform to speak to that for a moment, I moved here because of a family illness that I was helping to take care of, and I didn't know what to expect out here. I met some people pretty quickly into me moving here through meetups and stuff that I found online, and accidentally stumbled upon what I think is the coolest community of filmmakers that I've ever encountered. And that's coming from spending like 6 years in Los Angeles, I think a total of 3, 4 years in Atlanta, and now here. It is incredible, like the scrappy people that we have that are just willing to come together for no reason and just make a project come to life. I do it for others, they do it for our projects, and it's been really cool. But it's surprising to say, yes, I did not expect what they have here, but they have an incredible community.
That's great. So you went from LA, which everybody knows, Atlanta is the big riser of like in the United States of like filmmaking, and then you're in Las Vegas, and so that's high praise on your part.
Yeah, I really do love what they have here, and I couldn't speak kindly enough about the group of people that I've met out here that I work with regularly, and some of which are arguably some of them are arguably the most talented people that I've worked with in any city that I've worked before. It truly is high praise for the people here. They're just hidden
Wow.
gems.
Is anybody really from Las Vegas? Is that everybody seems to be like trade like they're all like outsiders like moving there?
Yeah, transplants, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I very few. Like Christiana, my significant other, she is
Oh
actually
wow.
a
Okay.
lifelong Las Vegas resident, but she may be one of a handful of that I've
Yeah.
met that actually are
It's
that I
changing
know.
now, I guess, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. You guys are
but
getting all the sports teams now. You're even getting baseball next year.
yeah, the A's.
Yeah.
Yeah, really excited about that. They made it to the finals this year for hockey, but they won it a couple years ago. Their
Yeah,
WA.
which is like their new team. It angers a lot as a Canadian. It angers a lot of Canadians that they're
Oh, I'm
so
sure.
successful. Yeah.
Yeah. I just there's no controversy between you and I'm just adopting the team
Not for
in,
me
but
either. They
yeah,
have a good system. It's based the sport at that level. Sports is like everybody's on the same playing field, really, because there's so many talented people. But it's all
yeah,
about like the infrastructure and like that. It's like filmmaking. It's like you got the talent, but it's all about the execution and kind of having a game plan, right? So, and that's what
right.
the Golden Knights do. They have a system that they infiltrated, and that's why they're successful.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm tying that into filmmaking, right? So,
It was a good segue. I like that.
all right, so let's talk about the film itself because it's. I'm assuming you shot this like in a studio because it's just like the white background. You can kind of,
Yep.
basically could shoot it anywhere, but the execution's great.
Thank you. Yeah, no, we shot it at a place called Lucky Johnson Studio in Atlanta, Georgia, and we had a day to make it work. There was just a free day. They happened
You
to
shot it
work
in
with
one
us.
day. Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my, oh my God. So yeah, again, high praise to the producing team that you mentioned, Toya and Tiffany,
Yeah.
and specifically our AD Drew, because he was in charge of the scheduling to make a 13-page script be shot in one day. So I couldn't give him enough praise because we had to choreograph camera movement. We had to press and perfectly light one side of a cyc wall, and then literally flip a table around, change outfits around, and change positions between the attendants to Robert on one side of the table versus the other, just to consistently shoot in three directions, one angle, and it was a lot to kind of choreograph in one time frame to get done in 12 hours amidst Georgia rain on top of it, which is very loud, and it's yeah, we happen to make it work, so really
Not to
proud of
mention your actors, especially the guy who played Robert. He's got some long scenes. He's got like a huge
it.
monologue in the middle of the scene, and like not to mention he's got to act, but he also has to memorize this monologue.
Yeah, which man, can I just say like as very very impressive talent that I've one of the most impressive people that I've worked with when it comes to acting talent, to be able to pull that off. And I will say we were talking about it when we were editing, and we had enough. We did only two takes of that monologue, and we had enough there to really cut something together perfect, seamless, and beautiful. And like after sitting back with it one more time, like I think I found so much beauty in the imperfection of his monologue because he does stumble in his words a couple times, and
Yeah.
I think it feels very human to use that. And so we ended up going with that choice where it's just the uncut version of it and just take it as it is. And we're really proud of that because I think he did a stand-up job.
So I'm watching like the films in the background while I'm talking to you, and there was a funny moment where like we're at the scene where his monologue, and you went like this, and he did this. He did it at the same time as you did
Oh,
in
that's
the
funny.
film. Yeah, you,
Yeah,
you didn't
that's
realize
funny.
you did this, but you went like this is the talk. Like,
Yeah.
and he did the same thing in the in the scene. So you guys were on the. I've never seen that before. It was like you guys
Oh,
were in
that's hilarious.
synergy on my in my world, right? So
Nice. Cool.
yeah, so yeah, I was going to ask you about the one shot because it's like what 3-4 minutes long. It's a long shot, right?
Yeah, 4 minutes. I want to say the monologue itself is about 4 minutes.
Yeah, and he just yeah, and like but because he's speaking from the heart, so then of course you're gonna as a human being you're gonna mumble or you're gonna stumble when you speak from the heart, right? Because it's like he's just like he's not thinking about what he's saying. He just it's coming, it's pouring out of him, right? So
Yeah.
yeah.
There's a lot of character development that went into all three of them, but Robert, for example, was very simple. We just really talked for hours about the relationship he has with his wife, and I told him, if anything, that's what I want you to memorize, not the less than the words. I want you to memorize the relationship that you had with her and the moments that we create with the attendants. I actually wrote them like I think an 8-page PDF of an employee handbook because I wanted them to imagine they worked at kind of like a hotel in a way, and they were the front desk of a hotel. So I wrote like a standard operating procedures handbook for them on what it would be like to work at this place. And it was really unusual, but they really nailed it. They nailed it.
So where did you find your three actors? Like they're all Las Vegas, live in Las Vegas.
No, Atlanta, Georgia, actually. So I found them on
Oh,
Actors
okay.
Access. We found them on Actors Access. They came in for they did a couple self tapes. We brought them in for callbacks, and of all the people that we brought back, they were the ones that kind of shine through the brightest as like contrasting characters with one another. That I thought played really well. I think Tita, the one who plays attendant two, got a lot of really high praise because she's very fun, very bubbly, but she did her role perfect in the sense that she's very new, very bright-eyed versus the other guy. I think it's easy to see him as the more neutral one, but it's because we had a conversation that I explained to him like imagine she's brand new to this and like everything's gonna make you happy but offend you when you're brand new. You've been through this. Like you've been through this, say, we called them cycles, like the amount of people that you transition to the next place. You've been through over 10 million of these things. Like at this point, nothing can phase you. People can cuss at you, and it's just like someone at the front desk who's been there for years. Like they don't care anymore. Like it just
Yeah,
rubs
they're
past them.
jaded.
Like
Yeah.
yeah, and so I wanted him to really come with almost like a supervisor demeanor, and he nailed it. Miles was great. High praise to all the actors.
Yeah, because you gave them his like even the monologue. It's his moment, right? Like it's you don't even cut away to them. You make sure it's always on him, right?
Yeah, yeah. Vince
So
was great.
talk to me about the costume design. He has two costume changes, but talk to me about kind of making it all white and like the yellow, the buttons, and then the bow ties, like putting that all together.
Yeah, so I had a really high interest and after a really like thorough conversation with myself, reflecting and saying, I think you suck at analyzing color with your films. And I think I want you to I want you to think intentionally about colors that you place into this thing. And I thought almost like a stoplight, good and bad, green and red, right? And like with making this like an a-religious thing where there's no like technical like heaven or hell here, but there's implications of good and bad places you can go. I wanted that to be the only indication of color in this film. So the outfits, everything was based around the indication of good or bad, which is just the representation of green and red, and that's literally it. That's the whole thing of the film, other than the hats for casual day.
Let's go. But obviously there's nuance, right? Like the nuances, I guess, is yellow. but
Yeah,
uh,
yeah. Um, and that's again to the stoplight, right? Which is a
yeah,
implication of yield, and that was the whole purpose of the yield thing, that it's not your time yet. And yeah, that's
yeah.
good call.
He's got to go back, I guess, right?
Yeah. Because in this, yeah, while it doesn't fully represent the story of how and why people decide to do something as grave as taking their own lives,
Yeah,
it's painting a story of almost like the intention behind why, and helping someone find the value that there's still you beyond this, right? Like your relationship still is very important, but there's still a you that exists. And I think you should spend a little bit more time caring about the you. And that's all that I wanted them to deliver with that, without getting too deep into anything dark. That's why I didn't want to show the act of him killing himself either. I
yeah.
wanted it to be, here he is, next step. And yeah, it wasn't about that. It was just about what happens in the conversation beyond it.
Well, I'm assuming that's what you can get if you decide to write a feature script and make the feature film. That's what you can get. You can do more of a deep dive into, like the why, like why, like obviously loneliness is the big, which is for a lot of people who try to commit suicide, right? Like they feel alone, right? They don't feel a part of the world. So that's like for various reasons, but for his reason is that he lost the only thing that he lives for, right? So why live,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I think if we go that direction, for the little bit more that we'll expand on Robert, I think you'll get a little bit more insight onto that, and what his life looked like on the outside. But I really think it's going to be spending a lot of time nurturing everyone's idea of the identities of the attendants themselves too, which I think people will love.
yeah, and then you sort of focus on like how does someone get that job, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and what it's like cycling through it.
yeah.
Yeah, should be my piece.
Can I ask, were you a fan of the TV show The Good Place?
No, I didn't watch it till afterwards. And now that I watched
Okay,
it, honestly, I'm a big Kristen Stewart, or not Kristen Bell fan. And
yeah,
yeah, she's great in everything she does. And so now I'm finding a lot of peculiar nuances that I probably could have taken and sampled from there into the film in a different way.
yeah.
Because I think what they're doing is really cool.
No, because the show, yeah, because I figured when I watched this film, it kind of reminded me of it a little bit, right? Because it's
Yeah.
like there's that comedy aspect to it, and like that show's got many twists and turns, which is a good. But I thought, okay, so then you did it was just like all this was you, right? And then were you like watching it afterwards and going, oh my god, it's like similar to my film.
Yeah, when someone brought it up to me, because
Yeah,
again, like when this conversation happened, it was when we wrapped a film that we were doing, and it was at like we go for drinks after we wrapped a film,
yeah.
and that's where the conversation arose, and I came back to him with a script 2 days later. Like it was really like Gatoya and Tiffany can tell you, it was really that quick. It just 2 days later, I was like, "Here, guys, I got a really weird idea, based on that conversation we had," and that was it.
So tell me about the post production process. You said your girlfriend or your partner wrote did the editing. Who did the sound design?
Yeah, so the composer Eric Grant Bennett, he did not only the score of this thing, but he did the sound design as well, because he's very, very, very meticulous with how he wants things to be heard, and so
Okay,
he spent a lot of time back and forth. I think it was really I have a lot of high praise for the guy, because I think he's one of those creative geniuses where him and I had a lot of back and forth that was positive, that was negative in a lot of ways, but it's because both of us individually cared about what we were doing a lot. And so that guy has a permanent place in my heart for how incredibly talented and willing he is to stand on his vision. It was great. And then Christiana, like I said, edited and colored the entire thing, which coloring was probably the most daunting process of all of this, because the between the house lights being used to light up the back wall, not everything was perfectly lit, and so trying to match whites was nearly impossible on some of these cameras. But so it was a lot of tedious work on her part, but she pulled it through in a pretty neat way.
Yeah, it's a great job. It's like nice, like you wouldn't think that you shot this in one day. So high
Thank you.
praise.
Yeah, thank you. And again, I got to give that credit to Drew, our assistant director, for keeping the schedule on board through probably the most stressful day he could have ever been given. Yeah, he did great.
So I'm looking at your film Freeway page, and it seems like you've made two other films since this film.
Yeah. Surviving, we actually just started submitting relatively recent. It's no comedy. It's a very sad story that I feel pretty good about in terms of what we told. And that one, unlike the transition room, was designed as a proof of concept. So it's one of those where like I have like a feature film in the back pocket for that one. And then the other one was winning mentality. And I watched a documentary once called Trophy Kids, and I got to watch how disassociated parents can be with gifted children athletes, and how un unapologetically toxic they could be as parental figures without even realizing that they're how they're being
Yeah,
perceived. And so I
dude,
made winning.
I'm living that world right now. It's like that. This is the world I'm living in. It's people are parents are crazy. I have
Yeah,
like two young kids. They're nuts. Like they're so into their kids' sports lives. It's like it's insane.
you should watch that Trophy Kids. It's on
Yeah,
HBO.
yeah,
But it blew my mind, and so I wanted to create something around a parent and to show really how far that disassociation with reality can kind of bring you. And yeah, I feel good about it. We did that was another film that I shot right after I left Atlanta, or right before I left Atlanta, and I think the team did a really good job with that.
So what motivated you to do like you just said you saw the film, but like what I'm do you have kids yourself or
No,
yeah,
no. I like the idea. Really, what drew me to this is I couldn't take I couldn't take my mind off of watching someone on camera, knowing that they're on camera, seeing that someone's filming them, and still speaking to their kids the way that they speak to them. That I had to think like there has to be a reason for this. Like there has to be something going on in their heads where they think they may be perceived as a good parent or a very like aggressively positive parent or a forward driven parent. And
yeah.
no, like there's no one that watch these that agree with them because it's they don't at the end of the day they don't make it about their kids, they make it about them, but they're
Well, that's
disguising it as if it's
yeah,
about their kids. And something about that was just really dark. And but I couldn't stop thinking about where you have to be like psychologically, sociologically to walk around in public behaving that way and not think what you're doing is unapologetically awful.
yeah,
That what is preventing you from saying, because there are people that are very abusive to their kids behind the scenes, like where no one will ever see it.
yeah.
What is separating those people and their tactfulness in public to these people that don't think they're doing anything wrong?
They're not aware. Well, obviously there's lack of awareness, but it's the competition.
Yeah,
It's that competition that they obviously like the cliche answer is that they're trying to live out their own childhood into their kids, right? They never made it, right? And it's like one in a million, right? Like it's so crazy, right? It's like you're like one in a million to be a professional athlete. You know how gifted you have to be a professional athlete,
yeah,
and then the factors of like luck and chance and probability, all these other factors that are just involved besides being gifted, and they never got it because I think that's what our dreams are, right? And you see
yeah.
that with a lot of it, even in the film industry. You see like they're like you didn't be the filmmaker you wanted to be, so you're throwing it at your kids, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, that's the analogy. It's capitalism, right? Like it's we just push, right?
Yeah, without recognizing that your child's a victim of that, like it's crazy. But yeah, I think you'll be fascinated if you watch it.
I will, and like some, in obviously like it's like the kids are going to start hating the sport. That's the sad part about it, right? So
Yeah, and you see some of that inside of this documentary.
yeah,
It's they quit. Some of them do quit entirely, and their lives are better after they do.
yeah.
And that's a really unfortunate thing to see.
You see that with dance for kids. There you see that with instruments as well, right?
Yep.
Like piano, whatever. They push, 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 right? Practice, 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 and then you just stop. You stop. Like it becomes a job. It doesn't. You don't. You fall out of love with it, right? So
Yeah. It's funny you say that because that's if I was to explain to people a combination of films that inspired me to make Winning Mentality, it's that Trophy Kid documentary and a combination of that and Whiplash.
yeah,
Um,
whiplash. Yeah,
where you're taking the idea of like, okay, this teacher is a maniac, right? But like, what if this teacher was your dad? Like, how different will that change what
yeah.
this looks like? And yeah,
Well,
that
what
was that.
makes Whiplash different is that the character he wants it so badly. Like the scene where like he gets in
Mhm.
a car accident and he's like trying to get to he wants it. So he's past the childhood stage, right? He's an
Yeah,
adult. And it's that obsessiveness that we have as people. Like I'm guilty of it too. Like especially when I was younger, like you only have one vision, right?
yeah,
And that's what he nailed it in that movie Whiplash, right? Like he
yeah,
nails it, and then
yeah. Fantastic job.
he's still going to keep going, right? Like it's not like at the end where it's like he realizes the error of his ways, right?
Yeah,
Like yeah,
he won in the wrong way. Like I think
yeah,
I find Whiplash to have a sad ending
yeah,
that I will argue to the death of me. I
yeah.
think it was a tragic ending, despite seeing him with a smile on his face, because he lost himself. Yeah,
But that's like it's Damien Chazelle, right? Like
yeah,
he that's all his movies. All his movies are about that, like
yeah.
about like obsession, right? Like the space movie, even the sorry
La
the
La Land.
La La Land, right? It's that obsessiveness to be the best, right?
Yeah,
In what you lose, because at the end of Whiplash, like they don't get together at the end, right? Like a typical musical, like they always get together. Like no, their love is their music and her acting more than each other, right? So
yeah. No,
yeah,
oh my God, fantastic movie. I can't speak highly about Damon enough. Like he's a really like impressive director to me. I love his
yeah.
storytelling.
So that's sort of like the tied into you. That's like even Spielberg, all his movies are about daddy issues. Do you think that you have like something that you're trying to say in all your movies?
I don't know. I think may if anything, find the humor and tragedy. Because
Yeah,
the film that we're about to start putting on a pretty big festival run, it's called I Think She's Dead, and it centers around two people that are unhoused and they stumble upon a dead jogger and help themselves to her life for a day. And as like simple and silly as that sounds, like there's so much to laugh at seeing people unapologetically themselves, but there's a lot of tragedy in seeing that like this could be anyone because they're not these stereotypically portrayed homeless people that you would see. They're people in this film, and like you really see them as people, and it means a lot to me to showcase it that way. And I feel really really good about what we did on this one. But it's that you're finding humor in something that's tragic at the end of the day.
yeah.
I really kind of like that theme a lot.
All right. Well, that sounds great. I only seen one of your films so far, but I had a feeling that's what you're going to say. Like laughter, comedies, laughter, and sadness, right?
Yeah.
Put it like then you put it together as like using your like red and green and yellow, right? Like
Yeah.
kind of putting the nuance into laughter and sadness, right? So,
Yeah.
and that's what makes it funny, but that's what makes it also like makes us remember the film as well, right? Not just shits and giggles, part of my French, but just
Sure.
you know, like it gives us heart, gives us emotion, right?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So you're on to something. I want to see your other films.
Yeah, no, I'm excited, and I'll probably share you private links to the other ones too, just to take
Cool.
a look at. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. I'm excited to see kind of where our team goes with this next one.
Yeah.
I'm officially in development now. We've got cleared for pre-production by a producing partner for our very first feature film called Resonance that I'm working on with.
That's
Uh,
amazing.
yeah, I'm really excited about that. A gentleman named Justin Cantorna brought it to the table for me, and we're really excited to work on this one.
Well, man, I wanted to wish you the best of luck. Seems like this film is well on its way in your other films. And let's talk again when we showcase another film of yours.
Thank you again. Thank you for having me for this. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
your time today.
Thank you.